I never thought I would be writing this, but I am pretty sure that what just came after me is a skinwalker, and I know no one will believe me for it. I always knew about skinwalkers since I was young, when I used to go to the countryside in a small town in northeastern Arizona in the summertime, where an old Navajo man would sometimes come from the forest, and all us kids would gather around him and he would tell us scary stories about skinwalkers. Now I think they were never stories. I think he was trying to warn us. When I turned 20, I moved there to get away from the big city and also be able to ride trails on my dirt bike that I had since I was 15. Everything was great. I had a new job fixing bikes and I had friends that I would go riding with in the weekends. We knew each other since we were kids and all heard the stories of skinwalkers. We never joked about them. Shit, we never talked about them. Which is weird since we all love horror stuff, but the one thing we never joked about was skinwalkers, even though we all thought they were just an old myth. One day this girl showed up in our town. She was on vacation with her family, and one of my friends met her somehow, and she mentioned she loved camping. So of course, me and my friends wanted to take her. On the night we went, she kept mentioning skinwalkers and how everyone said they were around these parts, and that he saw a video of a man go into the forest taunting them and saying their name in the native language. I'd never be brave enough to do that, especially around these parts, she said, and me being the idiot that I am, and in the effort of impressing her, I got up and said, "They are not real. I can say it, nothing will happen," while forcing out a laugh, and then I made probably the worst mistake of my life. I said, "Yee Natalushi," and whistled 3 times, my friend getting up and saying it right after me. "Yee Natalushi," and also whistled. We could see the girl was scared, so we comforted her and told her it's just a myth and she looked like she was better. A few days pass and I forget about the incident. The girl leaves and I head back home after a ride, sitting in my yard enjoying a snus when I noticed something weird. The neighbor's cat is sitting on my porch. That cat always hated me since I was a child, so seeing it sit on my porch looking at me was weird. I didn't care though. I scared it off and went back inside. Over the next couple of days that cat would sit there. Every day I came back from work and I started to get annoyed by it since it was harder and harder to scare it off. Once I needed to pick it up and put it next to my neighbor's fence. The cat seemed calm when I picked it up. Actually, it didn't move at all. The next day I was riding when a storm came and I drove back home, putting my bike right outside the fence and covering it up. I was going towards that door when I saw it. The cat, it was standing up on 2 legs looking at me. It looked like it was scared. It looked at me like it had no soul behind those eyes. Why would a cat be standing up on 2 legs? I tried to make it go away, but it wouldn't move. It wouldn't react. So I reached out to touch it and try to pick it up. Its skin was ice cold. I never felt something colder in my life. I took my hands off it and I quickly went inside and called my neighbor and told her something was wrong with her cat. She said to please feed her, since she probably forgot to, and that is probably why she is acting weird. "No, you don't understand. It's standing up on 2 legs, I said. "You know nothing about cats, do you?" She said they get up if they are catching a bug or something. Before I could say anything, she told Me to stop being paranoid and feed her cat and hanged up. I went and got a fish I had and threw it out the door and went inside. I was in bed watching something and I almost forgot about the cat. When I heard it, footsteps, I ran to get my tablet to check my cameras, but there was nothing. Probably just some rain sounds. "I'm tired, I'm just making it up," I said. At 2 a.m. they got louder. I went to check again. Still nothing. They sounded like feet walking on wet grass, just a lot heavier and a lot faster. Almost like someone was running around my house. I opened the window for a second to see if there was anyone, and they stopped. Then I smelt it, rotting flesh. I almost threw up from it. I closed the window and went to the bathroom to throw up. Then I came back. Something got in my yard and died. Maybe a deer or one of the pigs that walk around. Maybe the coyotes are back. Yes, that has to be it. The coyotes are eating a dead animal that got into my yard. There is no other explanation for that smell. Then I heard it, David, my name. It sounded like my neighbor's voice. Maybe she was back David again. Maybe my neighbor is back. Maybe something happened to her cat. I slowly opened the window to look for her when I saw something behind the trees. It had a human face, with fully black eyes and white skin. It was taller than anything should be, its head reaching as higher than my window. Even though it was on 4 legs, its back was arched in an unnatural way, staring right at me. It let out a horrible sound and started running towards the window. Its legs, or whatever you could call those bending in an unnatural angle, they looked like they were about to come out of its skin. I ran towards the window to my front yard while hearing glass breaking behind me and that thing making screaming sounds no human or animal could make. I smashed the window and jumped out, pieces of glass sticking into me. I ignored the pain and took my cover off my dirt bike. I took my keys out of my pocket and put them in, putting my leg on the kickstart. I stared, kicking the kickstart as hard as I could. Kick, 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 kick. I looked up and I saw it staring at me. I could see its bones almost sticking out of it. One last kick and the engine started. I climbed onto it and throttled as hard as I could. I throttled so hard I almost looped back. I rode for a long time. The only sound I could hear was the engine. And remembering that horrible sound that thing did, it sounded like someone choking, but at the same time screaming in pain. I saw lights behind me, and I realized there was a police car there. I pulled over, and he got out of the car and came towards me. "Do you own this bike? There is no plate on it." I didn't know what to say. I noticed him looking at my bloody arms and legs with a piece of glass still sticking out of my arm. "I don't know what happened here, but until we see that you own this bike, you are coming back to the station with me. And so I stay in the police station writing this. It knows where I am. I can hear the cops talking outside. They seem scared. I would be too. I can smell it. Rotting flesh, it is coming here. I shalled have never said ITS name."